You ever been there, wide awake at 3 a.m., just staring at the ceiling? It's a feeling that almost all of us know, and it's a pretty lonely one. Today, we're going to dive into that whole nightly struggle using the words of an author who just gets it. I mean, this quote just nails it, right? A silent standoff. The whole world is quiet and sleeping, but you are completely, totally, and frustratingly awake. It's just you and the ceiling bearing witness to the night. So our guide on this little journey into the night is a piece called The Vigil of the Midnight Ensemble. It's by a writer and, get this, a knowledge curator named D.R. Nayar. For 20 years, his blog, Tega.com, has been all about lifelong learning, reaching over 600,000 people. And honestly, this article really shows why. It's just so thoughtful. Let's just call it what it is, right? The 2 a.m. standoff. And, the irony is just wild. Somewhere out there, someone is sleeping so deeply, they're going to sleep right through their alarm. Meanwhile, you'd give anything for just a tiny piece of that peace. And we've all heard the advice a million times. Get your 8 hours. Just listen to your body. But, as we all know, when it's 2 in the morning and you're wide awake, that advice feels kind of like a bad joke. It feels like sleep is playing a game of hide and seek, and you're always it. So when you're that desperate for even a little bit of rest, you start looking for a quick fix. And that's what leads us to the very tempting promise of all those sleep remedies out there. And oh, the list is a familiar one, isn't it? You've got pills that promise a deep, dreamless slumber, calming essential oils, all kinds of natural supplements, and even these really specific breathing patterns. Every single one of them whispers that same little promise. This time, this is the one that's going to work. But here's the cold, hard truth of it. The promise is always about restoration, right? Waking up fresh. But the reality? It's just waiting. Waiting for the pill to kick in, waiting for the breathing to finally calm you down, just more waiting. Okay, so if it's not just a physical thing that a pill can fix, then what in the world is going on? Well, let's tune in to what the author calls the Midnight Ensemble, that whole orchestra of thoughts and feelings that just loves to perform when you're trying to sleep. This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why does sleep just pack its bags and leave, right when we want it most? And the answer isn't just one thing. It's a whole cast of characters that decides to show up after dark. First up, it starts with basic biology. That hormone that's supposed to be your best friend for sleep, melatonin, it just decides to peace out. And with your body's defenses down, your mind decides it's showtime. It starts rolling the highlight reel of everything you managed to push away during the day. That awkward thing you said, that big deadline, every worry you successfully ignored until now. Then there's anxiety, that little nagging voice of doubt. In the dead quiet of the night, it gets a megaphone. Every tiny concern suddenly becomes a 5-alarm fire. And finally, the grand finale. Your senses are on high alert. That little creak in the floorboards, the ticking of a clock, shoot, even the sound of your own heartbeat. It all becomes this deafening soundtrack to your sleepless night. So if all those quick fixes just lead to more waiting, what's the alternative? Well, let's look at a much gentler idea. Not a cure, but a ritual. Something the author calls a soft discipline. And the answer isn't some big secret. It's actually pretty simple. A dark room, some cool air, turning off all the screens, and just taking a few slow, deep breaths. See, it's about creating an invitation for sleep, not trying to force it. But, and this is the really honest part, this ritual is not a magic wand. There are absolutely no guarantees here. Sometimes it works beautifully, and other times, well, the sun just shows up first. And that reality brings us to this really big shift in how we think about this whole thing. What if the goal isn't to win the fight against being awake? What if it's about changing what it means for the night to finally be over? And this is the part that's so profound. The idea is that whether you finally fall asleep or you just see the sun come up, both of those things are an end to the vigil. One brings rest, the other brings the start of a new day. Both are answers. It's a pretty powerful way to reframe such a frustrating experience, isn't it? It kind of reminds us that even when we feel alone and desperate in the middle of the night, maybe there's a different kind of peace to be found. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What's your 2 a.m. like?